Imagine walking into a stadium that doesn't just host football matches, but transforms into an entertainment hub with retractable pitches, rooftop sky bars, and sustainable energy systems. By 2030, the Premier League will be transformed by stadium developments so ambitious they're costing clubs billions. The battle for supremacy is no longer just happening on the pitch. It's taking place in boardrooms and construction sites across the country. Behind these glittering venues lies a truth most fans don't realize. These aren't vanity projects, but calculated business moves in a high-stakes game where matchday revenue can determine a club's financial future. Today, we'll take you inside the most ambitious stadium projects in Premier League history, from Everton's waterfront masterpiece that's overcoming wartime obstacles to Manchester United's potential 100,000-seat Wembley of the North. We'll reveal the cutting-edge designs, financial complexities, and controversies surrounding these monumental projects that are redefining the economic and cultural landscape of entire cities. For years, Goodison Park has been the heart and soul of Everton Football Club, but now the Toffees are taking a giant leap forward. The club is leaving behind 130 years of history to move to a stunning waterfront location at Bramley Moor Dock. The decision wasn't made lightly. Goodison Park, though rich with tradition, has limited modern amenities and no room to expand. With Liverpool FC's Anfield growing to over 61,000 capacity, Everton needed to respond to stay competitive both commercially and on the pitch. Designed by renowned architectural firm Pattern Design, the new 52,800 capacity stadium represents a masterpiece of modern engineering. What makes this project truly remarkable is how it integrates with Liverpool's historic docklands. Built directly within Bramley Moor Dock, engineers pumped 480,000 cubic meters of Irish sea sand to fill the Victorian dock and discovered 12 unexploded World War II bombs that required Royal Navy specialists to remove. The stadium's most striking feature will be the 14,000-seat Blue Wall, Everton's answer to Borussia Dortmund's famous Yellow Wall. This steep single-tier stand will create one of the most intimidating atmospheres in English football. The acoustics have been specially designed to amplify crowd noise, with the roof structure capturing and reflecting sound back onto the pitch. The project hasn't been without controversy. Heritage groups expressed concern about building on a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In fact, Liverpool ultimately lost its UNESCO status in 2021, partly due to developments like Everton Stadium. Club officials argue that the dock had been derelict for decades, and the stadium project actually preserves elements of maritime heritage that would otherwise continue deteriorating. With an estimated cost of £760 million, this represents the largest single-site investment in Liverpool's history. Owner Farhad Moshiri has pledged around £350 million of his personal fortune, with the remaining funds coming from loans secured against future matchday revenues and commercial naming rights. When completed in 2025, this will transform not just Everton Football Club, but the entire North Liverpool landscape. While Everton builds an entirely new home, Manchester City is taking a different approach by transforming their existing Etihad Stadium into one of the most innovative sporting venues in Europe. City's approach reflects their evolution as a club. When they moved to the then City of Manchester Stadium in 2003 following the Commonwealth Games, they were a far cry from the powerhouse they are today. The stadium has grown alongside the club, with previous expansions in 2015 taking capacity to 55,000. Now, with consistent Champions League football and domestic success, further growth is necessary. The £300 million Etihad campus expansion represents one of the most forward-thinking stadium developments in English football. Designed by Populous, the expanded Etihad will increase capacity to over 60,000, but its true innovation is how it's being reimagined as a 365-day entertainment destination. The centerpiece is the expanded North Stand with its massive single-tier structure designed to amplify crowd noise. Above this stands a 3,000 capacity fan zone with restaurants, a museum celebrating city's history, and a rooftop sky bar offering panoramic views of both the pitch and Manchester's skyline. The plans include a stadium roof walk, a transparent walkway allowing visitors to traverse the very top of the stadium, and a 400-bed hotel integrated directly into the structure, with some rooms overlooking the pitch to generate revenue even when matches aren't being played. Sustainability forms the core of the design, with 5,500 square meters of solar panels covering the roof, one of the largest renewable energy installations in Premier League football. These panels will generate enough electricity to power all match day operations. Unlike many stadium projects that face significant opposition, City's expansion has been broadly welcomed by the local community. The phased construction lets fans attend matches, but means they must endure noise and limited facilities until completion in 2025. Chelsea's plans for Stamford Bridge represent perhaps the most challenging stadium project in Premier League history. Since Roman Abramovich first proposed rebuilding the stadium in 2014, the project has faced numerous obstacles. The need for redevelopment is clear. Stamford Bridge's current capacity of 41,600 pails in comparison to other top Premier League clubs, limiting matchday revenue and forcing the club to charge some of the highest ticket prices in England. With the stadium squeezed into a dense West London neighborhood, expansion has always been challenging. The £1.5 billion complete rebuild aims to increase capacity to 60,000, but the constraints of the site make this extraordinarily difficult. The stadium is hemmed in by railway lines on two sides and residential buildings on others, with almost no room for expansion. This has forced architects Herzog and de Meuron to create one of the most innovative stadium designs ever conceived. The solution? Build upward rather than outward. The new design features a series of 264 brick pillars supporting an intricate roof structure, creating a cathedral-like appearance that distinguishes it from other modern stadiums. The redevelopment has generated significant local opposition. The Chelsea pitch owners, who own the freehold of the current stadium and the rights to the Chelsea FC name, initially resisted plans for a complete rebuild. More contentious has been the club's acquisition of surrounding properties, with several local businesses and residents fighting compulsory purchase orders, leading to lengthy legal battles. Perhaps the most challenging aspect is that Chelsea will need to find a temporary home during the 5-year construction period. Wembley Stadium is the most likely option, though the club has also explored ground shares with Fulham and West Ham. This temporary relocation alone could cost the club over £100 million. Despite these challenges, when the stadium opens in 2030, it is expected to double Chelsea's matchday revenue and become one of the Premier League's most prominent stadiums. Newcastle United's stadium plans have generated perhaps the most debate among its fan base. The club faces a fundamental question: renovate the iconic St. James Park or build a completely new stadium elsewhere. For Newcastle, the timing of this decision coincides with the club's Saudi-backed resurgence. When the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia acquired the club in 2021, they inherited a stadium that, while beloved, had seen minimal investment under previous owner Mike Ashley. Now, with Champions League ambitions, the limitations of St. James Park have become apparent. The current capacity of 52,338 is insufficient for a club with Newcastle's massive fan base. Under the leadership of Yasser Al-Rumayyan, the club is exploring two bold options. The first is an £800 million redevelopment of St. James Park, focusing on the East Stand and Gallowgate end. This would increase capacity to around 60,000 to 65,000, making it comparable to Arsenal's Emirates Stadium. The challenge is that the East Stand is hemmed in by historic Grade 1 listed Georgian terraces, which cannot be demolished. Additionally, a metro station beneath the Gallowgate end complicates any structural changes there. Architects Populous have proposed an innovative cantilever design that would extend the east stand over Lees' terrace without touching the protected buildings. This engineering solution would preserve the historic structures while still allowing for expansion. The alternative is even more ambitious: a £1.2 billion entirely new stadium at Lees' Park. This would create a 70,000-seat venue, making it the second largest club stadium in England. The proposed design features a distinctive horseshoe shape with a large single-tier end, similar to Tottenham's South Stand. However, this plan has sparked a Save Lees' Park campaign from environmental activists defending the Grade 2 listed space dating to 1873. Club officials have proposed funding improvements to other city parks while maintaining public access to portions of Lees' Park. Both stadium options feature sustainability innovations and enhanced accessibility. With Saudi ownership, funding isn't the obstacle, planning permission is. The Public Investment Fund has committed to finance either option without affecting transfer budgets. Newcastle will consult with fans before finalizing their choice, recognizing that whichever path they choose will underpin their return to European football's elite. No discussion of future Premier League stadiums would be complete without addressing the Theatre of Dreams. Manchester United's iconic Old Trafford has fallen behind rivals, with leaking roofs, outdated facilities, and limited hospitality options becoming increasingly problematic for a club of United's commercial power. The club faces a pivotal decision: invest £1 billion in renovating the current stadium, or commit to a £2 billion completely new build adjacent to the existing site. The latter option would create what's being dubbed the Wembley of the North, a 100,000 capacity venue that would be the largest club stadium in Europe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who acquired a 25% stake in the club in 2023, has made the stadium issue his personal priority. He has established the Old Trafford Regeneration Task Force, bringing together experts in stadium development, urban planning, and finance to evaluate all options. The most ambitious proposal involves not just a new stadium, but a complete regeneration of the surrounding area. This would include a performance center, a hotel, retail spaces, a Manchester United museum, and residential developments, creating a mini-city centered around football. Architects Foster plus Partners have produced preliminary designs featuring a distinctive bowl shape with a fully enclosed roof. The proposed structure would include sustainable features like rainwater harvesting, natural ventilation, and renewable energy systems. A key feature would be improved transport links, including a dedicated tram station and better road connections, addressing one of the biggest complaints about the current Old Trafford. The potential £2 billion Wembley of the North would likely be funded through multiple sources: approximately £800 million from the club's resources, £500 million from naming rights and commercial partnerships, and the remainder from long-term construction bonds. The Greater Manchester Combined Authority could also unlock public funding for surrounding infrastructure improvements. If United proceeds with the new build option, they would continue playing at the current Old Trafford during construction, eliminating the need for temporary relocation. Once complete, the old stadium could be partially preserved as a smaller venue for United's women's team and academy matches. These 5 ambitious projects reveal a Premier League where stadium experience becomes as important as on-field product. By 2030, Everton will have left their home of 130 years, Chelsea may rebuild their historic ground, and Manchester United could boast Europe's largest club stadium. These aren't just projects, they're statements of ambition and future-defining investments. The real test? Whether these grand stadiums deliver the atmosphere and success fans expect. One thing is clear, the Premier League's stadium revolution is reshaping football and entire cities. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.